Good afternoon guys, thanks Beach, thanks Abby for the introductory classes. Now we're going to look more specifically at how to incorporate this into your method areas. So we're going to start off the class with a example of a role play you could incorporate into a history class. And then we're going to go through the benefits of having that as a role play. So when the role play is happening, if you guys can think about the benefits of having a role play in class, Beach and Abby have also covered that a little bit. And also, I want you guys to think about one role play that you can incorporate into your method area. And I want you to write that into that box number 2 where it's something you learned. That'd be awesome if you can do that. So if Ollie and Katie exit the room, and Rob, you can enter the scene. So this is a little activity that's called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner Tonight. Do you remember seeing that on the TV? Used to be on quite a few years ago. They'd have a scenario that's already sort of happening. So every person in the group has like a little card that sort of describes their role and what they're meant to be doing. So I'm going to set the scene for Rob. The year is 1876. The peak of summer has hit the Murray River region. The start of he has established a house and farming on the open grasslands and has fences up around his property. So I'll hand it over to Rob. Take it away. Enjoy it.
Thanks, Gilbert. Been on the farm now 6 months. I purchased this land off the government. It's rightfully mine, and doing a bit of cattle farming and having a bit of trouble with the local blackfellas.
Yours.
Betty, come in. Betty's one of the proudest. Oh, it's cows.
Oh, Betty.
Isn't she a beauty? Nice fine shiny skin. Yeah. Come over here, Betty. Come on.
Alright, well, see you just there. Fergus.
What's with the fences? What's all these fences, mate?
What's going on, blackfella? This is my land that I got from the government.
Well, listen, mate.
The fences are there to keep you off hunting my sheep and cattle.
The Jarrah mob, and we've been, hunting here for the last 60,000 years.
Frankly, I don't recognise the Jarrah mob, and this is my land by right. And if you come on it, I will shoot you like I shoot the kangaroos. Dead, mate. Dead.
Well, mate, if you wouldn't mind, I've got my family starving, and we'd like some meat if you can help us out.
Look, mate, there's plenty more room down the river. Leave me out of it. Frankly, I don't care much for your family. Try and look after my own. That means not looking after yours. Move on.
Alright, well, the team just there. Thank you guys very much.
Dirty cow.
So yeah, thank you, Katie, very much. You're a very good cow. You suck your responsibility. Ollie, awesome job coming in, putting on different shoes to what you're probably originally used to. So thank you very much. And Rob, I thought you did an awesome job being a sort of typical European first settler. So you can sort of gauge from Rob's and how he was sort of acting that he sort of has an understanding about early settlement. So what would be some benefits of having role play inside your method areas?
Might help the students have a better understanding of what was going on at that time, you could say, like if you had that role play.
Yeah, so they sort of get a different perception of how the Europeans might have been thinking and how the Aboriginals might have been thinking. Nice job. What else might be another?
It can be an interactive way to kind of introduce a topic. So if you're starting a new topic, you can do a role play and then get everyone engaged and they'll understand like the new topic.
Yeah, perfect. So it's engaging the students in it, and it's also engaging the people that are up the front acting, it's also engaging the participants while they're watching, so they're trying to figure out what's unfolding in the little scripted play.
I would expect kids that weren't really involved or don't, want to know anything about the subject, I might help them loosen up a little bit and actually be that more accepting of what's going on, what they're learning.
Yeah.
A lot would be like, I don't want to know this. So yeah, role playing loosens it up a little.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. So some benefits. It gives people a different perspective of a situation. It engages students. It incorporates different method areas. So it incorporates, if they had to do a little bit of research beforehand, they would incorporate some English. It would also incorporate some drama skills, incorporate sort of communication and listening skills. It also allows students to develop a deeper understanding of the topic. So instead of just being able to read it from a book, it sort of puts it into a three-dimensional framework, which might give them a deeper understanding of the concepts that you are trying to deliver. And it's also a really good way to assess students. Because as you see when they finished, I just gave them a little bit of verbal feedback about how their presentation went. So I was sort of doing the POLT then, just giving them a bit of direct feedback as soon as they finished. And then afterwards, I just get them to write a little bit of a reflection, maybe 1 or 2 lines about how they felt they were in the other person's shoes. So I'd really like to have a short discussion about how we can incorporate this into our method area. So if you start to think about what type of ideas you could incorporate this into your method areas. So if you're, for example, English, you could do a role play on a book on just a certain little chapter where people are starting to think about different people in the chapter. Does that make sense? Yeah. So is there any other ways to be creative, think outside the box?
Well, I guess my method's media, so there'd be a lot of short film making. So in that, there would be role playing and filmmaking together.
Yeah.
You'd be videoing the role play.
And that's a
then they could use it to edit it.
That's a perfect example. There is a lot of role play now that does incorporate media, also incorporating the internet. So if students are afraid of coming up and performing in front of students, you can also do role plays online or in other interactive ways.
Andy, I went for the historical perspective as well from science. I think it's really good for kids to sort of realise what life was like sort of pre-penicillin and things like that. You know, kid cuts his hand and the next day he's dead, I thought, that'd be effective.
Yeah, that'd be a very effective way. There are quite a few different strategies with science, like with evolution and stuff, that you can use with roleplay.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've been learning about these things called CPEP programs, which is when the kids themselves organise a sporting event, a competition, and they all assume roles. Someone's the media officer, someone's the team trainer, someone's the umpire, that sort of stuff, and it allows them to experience those roles which they couldn't otherwise experience.
Yeah. And I think with role play, it just takes the teachers a little bit more effort, a little bit more time before the class, but it gets the students a lot more engaged in what you're doing and get them involved to make them responsible for the learning. So they have to actually be able to understand what you're trying to say to be able to deliver it in front of their peers or on the internet in interactive ways. What other ways could we incorporate it?
Yeah, you already said English, but
you
English,
got a
there's
different
lots
way.
of things in English because different way to look at characterisation and different ways that kids interpret text.
Yep.
Because with one novel, you can have one person play the same character very differently to another student.
Yeah.
So you can do that.
Look at that. Yeah, that'd be a really effective way. And another one is
when I was researching some stuff like this, it came up. There's analogy role play which you could use for science, which is where it's sort of it sounds a little bit strange, but there was a school that used echo sounding for the students, and they could pretend that they were bats. And so they could, make their way around a room with their eyes closed using echo sounding, and that was, even though they weren't being human, that they were still able to role play what it's like to be a bat, and that helped them in science.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So